analytics in a whole different criteria, how to use it, what is the basic function around it, how Google is presenting their product to the people, which is absolutely free as well. So let me start with this. Before getting into Google Analytics, we need to understand what analytics actually means. So analytics is a systematic computational analysis of the data or statistics. So it is particularly used for the discovery and interpretations and communication of meaningful patterns in data, which means we collect information and we do it on a computational analysis of the data. It also entails implying data patterns toward effective decision making. So in this particular analytics is that we gather information and we use that information to to take decision into the right manner. And what now the question arises, why do we need analytics for? To find out the meaningful patterns. Meaningful pattern means by which we can decide to take that particular decision or not, because information is the only thing that one organization, person, or any organization, any person, or any field which is very important to be required for. And it also uncovers the new knowledge based on the applied mathematics, statistics, predictive modeling is there, machine learning techniques is there as well. And it also helps us to make more accurate decisions on real time situations with which we can help people, business, and organizations as well. And the most important thing is this as well. It also helps us to approach the future strategically. Now, for example, now this is the sample analytics dashboard uh, of analytics dashboard. It can be of many different platforms as well. Google Analytics there, different analytical platforms are there as well. And so, what is analytical data as well? Analytical data is a collection of data that is used to support decision making or research. It is a historical data that is typically stored in a read-only memory database that optimizes the data analysis. It possibly can be the information related to a user, demographics is there, browser they are using, time of using, at what time they are using it, and number of times they have used. They can also give us the possible background of the user as well, number of conversation, and many more. Now the question arises that if they are collecting data, and how, so question arises how they are doing it. So it is cookies is they are using cookies. So we will be I will be explaining you later that what actually cookie is. So I just want to give you a normal basic definition for it, is that cookie, to remember the user has done on a previous page's interaction on the website. So it cookies helps us to store the data, that what are the actions which we did on that one particular page. So now what is Google Analytics? So Google Analytics is a free web analytics service offered by Google that tracks and reports website traffic, currently as a platform inside Google Marketing Platform brand. And Google has launched this service in November 2005 after acquiring Urgent. Google Analytics is now the most widely web analytics service on the internet. Google Analytics is also provide us service text knowledge that also gathering the user data from iOS platforms, Android apps, which is known as Google Analytics for mobile applications, and data visualization tools including the dashboard, scoreboards, motion charts are also there, which displays changes in the data over the time. So when we are collecting user behavior patterns, so they will obviously change into the real time as well. So it helps us to make decision making according to the user input. And they also do email based sharing and communication. They also integrate with Google products such as AdWords, Public Data Explorer, and Website Optimizer. Now, what actually are cookies? So cookies in Google Analytics tool that helps website and app owners to understand how their visitors engage with their properties. And now Google Analytics may use a set of cookies to collect information and report the site usage statistics without personally identifying individual visitors to Google. The main cookie which used by Google is called _GA cookie. This is the most used cookie and most important cookie for the Google, because they do maximum of the cookie collection with this particular cookie as well. And the line which I've highlighted here is that analytics cookie may also be used for this purpose by Google on Google properties, which means that information which we are providing them, they also use this particular cookie to track their own users, that how they are behaving on Google Analytics platform. It has a default, I'm so sorry, it has a default expiring time of 2 years. uh, if you have received a new hit, it can be customized from 0 to 2 days as well. It updates itself with each page load, which means if we are if we are loading one particular page, it will update itself. If we do not put any actions, it immediately goes back to the previous one. And there are four types of cookies that Google Analytics use. First is underscore UTMA, underscore UTMB, underscore UTMZ, and underscore UTMV. So these are the most important cookies that Google Analytics use as well. So first, UTMA, this cookie is used to determine new and returning visitors, and it has an expiration time of 2 years. And cookie number two is UTMB. So this cookie is used to determine new sessions. It has an expiration time of 30 minutes. And UTMZ is the cookie to determine traffic source, medium, campaign name, campaign term, which delivered the user to your website, and it has an expiration of 6 months. And UTMV, this is the cookie used for storing visitor level custom variable data for the identification across the different platforms as well. So it has expiration time of 2 years. Now, account versus property. So so in Google Analytics, they have an hierarchy for using the platform in one particular sense. For example, so first of all, organization is called to be the parent company, and account is the sub company for it. And properties, what are the actions, what are the things that comes into the sub company, and the views are what are the action and what are the data which we are particularly using into that particular property. Now, as I already said, that this is the hierarchy. So an organization has authority to handle account, property, and view as well. But account do not have any permission to assess the data for the organization. So we can permit account to assess organization, but I mean, they need to ask for the permission for it. But if you are owning an account, so you can also view the properties and views as well. What is an account? An account is your access point for analytics, one or more analytics. Accounts can belong to an organization. You need to at least one account so you can have access to analytics, so you can identify the properties you want to track. The relationship between account and property is to the user, because it is a hierarchy, so permission can be given accordingly. So what is a property? Property is a website or a mobile application or a device, uh, can be a point of sale device or anything. An account can contain one or more properties as well. With an analytics account, you add the properties which you want to collect data for, and one or more properties can also belong to one account. So this is an example of account and properties and organization. This is the hierarchy for it. First of all, where it says Google account users, so this is the organization, right? Now, below organization, it comes with analytics accounts. So is this analytics account, and below that is properties, and below that is views. So it particularly explains you everything when a Google account user as an organization has marketing, personal user also is there, and one particular sub company is there. So analytics will handle what are the properties and how they want to collect the data for one particular property. So what now my the next topic is the tracking code. So when you add property to account, analytics generate a tracking code that you use to collect data from the property. The tracking code contains a unique ID that identifies the data from the property, and it makes you easily identifiable in your reports. Analytics also creates one unfiltered view for each property you add. So these are the basic steps that how can you find out The tracking code, first of all, you need to log in into analytics account, then go to admin, then select your account from the account column. Then you need to select property from the property column, and then under property you can click in tracking info, and you can find out the tracking code there. I do have an example for it here. So this says in the bottom right corner, this is the tracking code, which is also is connected to Google Site Tag, right? In the middle we have the tracking ID. Yes, and in the left, in the left we can do the same steps and follow and get the same information in the left corner. So the next topic is tracking unique visitors. So Google Analytics, to determine which traffic belongs to which user, they use a unique identifier for it. It can be cookies, it can be names, it can be organization names associated with each user sent with each hit. So this identifier can be a single or first party cookie named underscore GA cookie that stores Google Analytics client ID, or you can use a user ID feature in conjunction with the client ID to more accurately identify the user across all the devices they use across your site or application. So how do they identify unique visit? In order to identify unique visit, Google Analytics tool, so there are the following steps that we can use. We first of all we need to open Google Analytics, and it comes under the audience section in the left hand side of the menu. We can choose overview, and the data ranges till the rate that we can set the data range from which particular date, from which particular date to till which date that we need the data for. For example, here I do have an example for it that is only from Google Analytics page as well. So it in the top left corner it says audience, then we go to overview, and we have the new users here. So these new users are the data to identify the new unique visits that Google Analytics get through. Now my next topic is demographics. So demographics has many particular features into this thing. Demographics and interest of data provides information about the age, your gender of your user, along with the interest they express through their online travel and the purchase activities as well. In age, they have acquisition, behavior, conversion metrics, broken down into age group. Then you can drill into your age group. See, you can break down by gender, then by your interest. Age below 18 are not included in this particular data because we do not allow them to be assess their user patterns. So in genders, similarly we have acquisitions, behavior, conversions metrics broken down by gender. You drill into the gender, so you can go through. You can see breakdown by age and then by your interest. So interest overview is distribution of the sessions or the key metrics on the property by the 10 interest of affinity categories in market segments and other categories as well. So in affinity categories is means that how much our product is reaching to, how many people one product is reaching to. So it also comes into acquisitions, behavior, conversion metrics broken down into affinity categories. So in market segments, acquisition, behavior, conversation matrices broken down into in market segment. So this in every single segment, so they broke down according to their own particular segment, be it age, gender, interest overview, or affinity categories, or in market segments. Other categories are also there. For example, we can particularly customize this thing by acquisition, behavior, conversion metrics broken down by other categories as well. So I do have an example for it. This is the sample, right? So this says 3.92% session made purchase means the amount of people which come onto that page, only 3.9% people have made the purchase for it. And it says the age, between age from 18 to 24 there were 17% people who purchased the product, and from 25 to 34 has made 25% people that have uh, purchased the product. So now there have been 2.54 total sessions, which means that every single session that one people goes through is basically from 2 that is 2.54, the total amount of sessions which are onto the website. Now, it here also says the report is based on 46.82% of the session, which means the other than left for it. So we have not decided it because of the date that which we have selected from June 22, 2017 till July 22, 2017. Now, it also, specify us according to the genders, so that female genders are 31.8% on our website, and other 68.2% are the male candidates, male prospects which are available on the website. So what is page view and bounce rate acquisition? So page view, uh, or a page view hit, or a page tracking hit, is an instance of page being loaded or reloaded in a browser in just total number of views per page, which means if one particular user is opening up the website, or using or reloading one particular page into the account, that is known to be a page view. So and what is bounce rate? Bounce rate is also reported into acquisitions, and the Google Analytics record a bounce whenever you user lands on a page of website and exits the site without additional engagement hits. Typically, this means user does not proceed to the another page. So it basically means, so when we are opening up a page, that is known to be a page view, but when we do not put on any action and we exit that page, that is known to be a bounce rate. And as it says, it comes under the acquisition reports as well. I do have a sample for it. When we go to the audience and overviews, so this has a bounce rate of 48.01%. So this is a little bit approximate. So the lesser bounce rate we have, it's the better our website is working and the better interaction we do have with the users. It means that way, because the more the bounce rate we have, more people are exiting the website without doing any action on the next particular page, or they're just eliminating from that particular page without doing any purchase or anything. So what is customized reporting in Google Analytics? So customized report is a report that you create. You pick a dimension and matrices according to, and decide how they should display it. For example, so we can customize a report according to the one business that we are into. For example, if one person is into real estate, right? So we do not need to. We can customize the report according to us. For example, if they are onto rental properties, or into buying, or into rehab, or this thing, so they can customize their reports according to their revenue generation, their time duration of the people whom they are renting out to, or their you know the gender can be a possibility, the number of houses, how many houses that we are rented, and what is the percentage of houses which are occupied according to the total organization that houses have, right? Now, we can also see the table listing into the custom reports. You can also create categories to organize reports into the different groups. Use action menu to edit, copy or delete, and share the individual reports as well. For example, as we have customized our own reports, we can share that same reports to the people whom we want to share to. And just want to add one thing, that we can share the custom reports only to the configuration information is shared, that the data remains private. That means that the data which we are providing, we are allowing them to see, we can only share that. We can hide other the data which we want to hide. So what is how can we create a custom report? It is the same steps that we can do, which means signing into the Google Analytics. Then we can navigate to the view, and we can open the reports, click customization to custom reports. And this particular custom reports, every custom reports will appear which we have already customized, and we can add custom report. We can enter a title, and we can start working on that according to the needs that one particular user have. So this is an example of customization report. In this exactly, uh, in this edit custom report, the title is e-commerce report, and in this particular metric group, they have added quantity, product revenue, and e-commerce conversions. So because this is an e-commerce report, so they are not adding any specific age criteria or anything. They just want to see the how many quantity they have been sold, the how many revenue they have generated, and what is the e-commerce conversion for the one particular company. Thank you. Yes sir, I'm done with sir.
So, any demonstration have you prepared for giving like Prem has given?
So in demos, sir, I do not have any particular. I do have an account for Google Analytics, but in that particular, I do not have any, any app or any website to put into, and I cannot show you real time progress in that. So I that is the only reason I've added samples into the presentation.
Okay, okay. Any queries from anyone?
Yes.
No, sir. No, sir.
So, okay, I think that was again very self-explanatory topic, and usually we see about Google Analytics in our daily lives, and this is also very important topic. Fine, so you should all prepare very well. And secondly, I have shared one book on Flask in your WhatsApp group. Have you all seen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gone through that one, sir.
Yes,
Downloaded,
sir.
sir.
Basically, we can say that that is related to your practical subject that I'm teaching you, the third one. And Python you have already gone through. Now we are preparing for Flask, learning about Flask. So you all will be reading the chapters you have been assigned to you, and you will be preparing the presentations, uh, taking the notes from that book only, or you may add more if you find suitable or more good content. And accordingly you will be presenting your topics on the scheduled dates. So approximately within 3 or 4 days we will be completing that Flask. Fine. So then after going through all the seminars and reading that book, you will be able to understand how Python and Flask can be used for preparing a website. Fine. So our goal will be achieved. Basically then we will be able to learn how this Python and Flask can be used for preparing the website actually. So then I'll be assigning you, after we have completed this Python and Flask, then I'll be assigning you one project separately to each of the student. No combined project will be there, and that will be basically accountable for your marks, internal marks, for your practical marks. So any doubt in
Right,
this?
sir.
No, sir. Currently not, sir.
No, sir.
And now I want very professional presentations from you. And I don't want the slide reading, only slide reading. You all are the MTech students. Fine, you are not the undergraduate students. So you need to inculcate in a professionalism in yourself. So your presentations should be very, very professional. Okay. And when you are presenting your
Sure, sir.
Flask presentations, so you will be toggling your screen with presentation along with your coding screen. So you will be basically teaching the Flask to the whole class. So you keep in mind about this and explain the concept of Flask to the whole class as if you are teaching how to use Flask for the website development using Python. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So
Yes, sir.
today we are closing the session. So Aman, your presentation is pending. So tomorrow you will be presenting the your seminar. So Aman has left. So convey her that tomorrow she will be presenting her presentation again. And on Monday, Himani and Tanvi will be presenting, and this is how our subject will be completed. Fine.
Right, sir.
So okay, good day. Bye bye.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.